So, and I'm going to let you know that when we're talking about swag, what we're talking about is confidence, magnetism, attractiveness, spirit, all of these things rolled into one. So, number one, in terms of confidence, I've made some previous notes on that. Part of it is the way that you're raised. Part of it is your physical strength and the stamina in your body that comes from working out and making your body strong, not only on the muscular side, but also the cardio side. Another part is actually having the goods, meaning that you are well read, you're reading regularly, you have knowledge, you have things to say, you know about the world. It allows you to engage with people. Here's a really important tip for being charming, which this word is often misapplied. But charm, often people feel like you're charming based on how you interact with them, not necessarily based on you, based on how you interact with them. Charming people are often the people who make deep eye contact with you. They give you a deep gaze. And why does that matter? Because they're focused on you, letting you know that they care about you and what you have to say. And they're asking you meaningful questions and listening intently without interrupting you. That's extremely charming. Eye contact is charming. Smiling is inviting. Now, as a male, you should be cautious not to smile too much. In fact, you'll find that a serious face often works with women. Now, it's going to depend on some of your circumstances. If you're a good-looking man, you can maintain the serious face, and that can be a part of your angle. If you're not a terribly good-looking man, and depending on your features, if you maintain a serious face and your ass look like Mike Tyson, you might be scaring a bit, right? But if you look like Mike Tyson and you're more so smiley and you're nice, women like people who are inviting. So you have to be realistic about who you are and how you come off and work your angles based on that. And if you really want to get into that, hit my line and we can really do an assessment of who you are, how you're perceived, and then we can work some angles based on that. But for example, I think voice and tonation is hugely important. There's a lot of research. Malcolm Gladwell writes about this, meaning that you ever been on the phone and listened to someone, maybe an operator, and you're like, God, this gotta be fine. This sound like she hella fine. For example, Hillary Clinton went through voice training when she was running for president. I think her voice coach was a terrible hire because I still found her voice to be extremely annoying. But Maggie Thatcher, the former prime minister of the United Kingdom, she went through voice training because often women have voices that are higher in pitch. And so they increase the timbre of the woman's voice, the depth of the woman's voice. They have them speak in downtone so they sound more certain, more masculine, and that allows them to have more impact. And you don't want to be like other people. Think of this world as an ant colony. You're just an ant. You need to be picked out of the crowd. So undoubtedly, if you're going to buy a shirt, wear a shirt that looks good. Take out the time. It's much better to have a small wardrobe of high quality pieces than to have a huge wardrobe of not dressed up right now. This is actually my workout shirt. But time was crunched today and I wanted to be here on time for you guys. Have you ever wanted people to see you in a different way or to perceive you differently? I work with a lot of men and women, helping them change their image to what they want it to be. I always start with asking them, why do you want people to see you in a different light? And typically it comes down to, I want to impress this particular man or this particular woman. So once we've defined that demographic of person, that type of person that they want to make an impression on or romance, then I ask them, who's the archetypal figure or who's the type of character that you want to be? Some might say it's James Bond or the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, all kinds of different characters that you're probably familiar with. And then I ask them, well, take that character and all of their traits and quirks. Is that profile physically, behaviorally, spiritually, that profile, the profile that this particular man or woman that you're seeking to impress, is that a profile that will impress that man or woman? So then what we'll do is we'll actually go ahead and study that character and then juxtapose the traits that this character has to your traits and identify where you have strength and weakness and where you need to grow in embodying the kind of person you want people to see you as. I want to give you some other areas that we look at. When I do these consultations, we look at 6 areas of influence. The very first area, which I don't call area 1, I call it area 0. It's your online presence, which is how you've communicated, promoted, and marketed yourself. It doesn't actually have to consist of anything real. It could be entirely imagined. but it is what people will perceive you as before they meet you. So the first thing we assess is your online presence, and I make recommendations on how you can A, clean it up, B, make sure that you're the one managing it, and C, make sure that it's aligned with the archetypal figure that you wish to be perceived as or perceived in the light of. Secondly, we make an assessment of your body, which carries a lot of significance. It's actually the very first thing that people use to judge you when they encounter you. They're looking at your body posture, the strength of your body carriage, the way you move. These are all things that create that first impression. It's actually not the face, it's the body. Why is that? Because as human beings, as the human animal, just like the lower animals, we are largely driven creatures. But that's why the body and the way we move and the way we appear makes the first impression, which is to say, an employer would more willingly hire someone who's unattractive in the face and strong in the body, as opposed to someone who's attractive in the face but morbidly obese in the body. So that's a good way to think about why the body is important as that second area of influence. Well, actually, number one, really, because the first area I mentioned was area zero, because it doesn't really exist in reality. It's entirely of your creation because it's your online presence. Now, on to number three. The third area of influence is your face and your grooming, your hair, and your smile and your teeth and all of these things. These definitely have a major impression on people in terms of how they perceive you, how they view your state of mind. And this is something that is well within your control. So definitely an area that I work a lot with on clients who are seeking to change the way they're perceived. The fourth major area of influence is voice. So much can be told from our voice, whether it's the speed at which we speak, it's the depth of our voice, or it's the tone and timbre of our voice. Our voice conveys our state of mind, our disposition, our feelings, all things that are extremely important in conveying who you are, or better yet, conveying what you want people to view you as. And the last major area of influence, I'll just say, is the general category. Habits. Do you smoke? Do you drink? Do you speak in foul language? Do you speak more formally? Are you colloquial? All of these things that compose who you are and will really set the foundation for how people view and approach you. So those are the areas of influence, meaning those are the different ways that you influence those outside of you. But the question is, once we've fixed and fine-tuned and groomed all of those areas of influence, how do you present that to the world so that you may be in full control of how others see you? Well, it's a matter of communication, promotion, and marketing. And those are three areas that we focus on, and I provide you with aids and tools and different things that you can engage in repeatedly to create that impression so that it is cemented in the minds of those who you're seeking to influence. I just want to give you a little taste of the different ways that you can change the way others perceive you. I just wanted to make sure that I could share my experience with people who are coming up in the world. And I make sure that I can have this be affordable enough so that people who are, still growing in their wealth can, use my services, but I have to charge something so that all 10,000 of my subscribers don't ask today for me to, give them an hour of my time, because I just don't have that kind of time. So if you're interested in talking about the way you're perceived and how you can be in control of how people see you, go ahead and reach out to me, and I'm happy to do a consultation. If you've had an experience where someone misperceived you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. As always, do click the subscribe button and click the bell so you get a notification, because when I do go live, I'm always happy to be there to answer your questions.